11 News starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Gordon Lash. Breaking now, a store clerk beat up and another man stabbed. This was during a confrontation inside a gas station in East Liberty this morning. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman joins us live with the breaking details. Jillian?
Yeah, well, we know a man is in critical condition right now after being stabbed at this Sunoco gas station here on North Highland Avenue this morning. And this is actually located right across the street over here at Obama Academy. Now, kids in Pittsburgh Public Schools are still at home doing remote learning, so no students were around when this stabbing happened. Now, we have video of the scene that wrapped up a short time ago. Take a look. This was a very active scene. Pittsburgh police tell us officers responded to 911 calls for an argument inside the Sunoco gas station in East Liberty at around 8 this morning. When officers arrived, police said the store clerk suffered wounds to his head from a blunt instrument. I'm told the store clerk was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Police say another man, however, was stabbed, and police found him on the sidewalk near the gas station. Paramedics took him to the hospital, and at last check, he's in critical condition. Earlier, we saw the violent crime unit and detectives on scene gathering evidence and interviewing witnesses, and right now, no one has been arrested. Officers cleared the scene here a few hours ago, and the gas station has since reopened. Right now, we're working to get more information from police and try to talk to some folks in this area and some businesses to try to see if anyone saw what happened. I'm putting that together for tonight at 5. Reporting live in East Liberty, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
Thanks, Jillian. A pregnant 19-year-old is recovering after being shot and being involved in a car crash trying to get away. Police say the shots were fired in Leetsdale on Route 65. The car crashed about 5 miles away. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond spoke with the man who heard the shots.
This is where police say a 19-year-old pregnant woman was shot. She was in a car here on this overpass over 65 in Leetsdale with another guy. Police say a man came up to them and shot her multiple times. The victims took off on 65 heading towards the city.
Minutes later, around 11:30 last night, he crashed near the intersection of 65 and Camborne Road in Emsworth. It's about 7.5 miles from where the shooting happened. A man who lives nearby says he heard what sounded like gunshots, but didn't think anything of it.
Heard 4 sounded like gunshots or a car backfiring, and then 2 after. And I got up, I looked out the window, was looking around, I didn't see anything anywhere.
Police say the driver was not shot, but he did get hurt in the accident. He was taken to the hospital and has already been released. As for how the 19-year-old is doing, all police have said is she's in stable condition.
We're checking in with police, though, to get an update on her condition, find out how she's doing tonight at 5, plus any information we find out from police about the person responsible for this shooting. Reporting in Leetsdale, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
His family found his van with the keys still in the ignition near a Pittsburgh trail, but still no sign today of 25-year-old Thomas Hughes. Officers searched Riverside Park yesterday looking for clues in his disappearance. We saw city police and county sheriff's cars out there, along with flyers with Hughes' picture. His family found his van at the entrance to the Three Rivers Heritage Trail on the south side Sunday. Hughes hasn't been seen since leaving his parents' Beachview home Saturday night. A woman was attacked by a man impersonating a police officer. She says she was pulled over by a Ford F-150 pickup on Route 22 at the Imperial exit last Thursday. The truck had red and white flashing lights. She questioned whether the man was an officer, and that's when she told police he reached through the window and grabbed her. She punched him in the face and was able to hit the gas and drive away. We're working to find out more about this frightening crime for Channel 11 News at 5. Turning to the weather now, we saw some slick driving conditions this morning with a wintry mix in parts of the area, but now we're dealing with some thick fog in spots. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier shows us what to expect today in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, Gordon, I mean, look at the tower cam right now. You can't even make out downtown because that fog is rather thick. 39-degree air temperature, so the temperatures are warming as well, and the wind is at 8 miles per hour. Look at the visibility, though, just down to a 1/3 mile in the city and in Beaver, 1.7-mile visibility in Indiana, and a 1-mile visibility in Butler. So if you are having to hit the road, make sure that you use your, you're going to need your headlights, of course, but during the nighttime hours, you're always using your low beam. So I think if you head out and you have your headlights on, you're in good shape. Now, this fog will begin to lift as we head through the afternoon because the winds will begin to increase. I'm going to show you that forecast, hour by hour wind here in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, you take a look at our radar right now and you can see those showers that are occurring through Indiana County and Westmoreland County as well. But the freezing rain, the ice threat is done for our area in the meantime. Coming up, we'll take a look at that wind forecast and the temperatures for the rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Danielle. An optimistic report from the Allegheny County Health Department. New COVID cases are under 300 for the first time in recent months. Health officials say they've learned of 282 new cases since yesterday. One additional death was also reported, a person who died January 15th after getting the virus at a long-term care facility. This afternoon, Governor Tom Wolf and the new acting health secretary are set up to give an update on the vaccines and getting them to as many people as possible. Look for new developments tonight at 5 on Channel 11 News. 2 school districts in Westmoreland County have already started to vaccinate their staff members, Greater Latrobe and Ligonier Valley. But school employees are not yet scheduled to get the vaccine yet. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie found out the districts partnered with local pharmacies, and that's not sitting well with people who are eligible to get the vaccine now but can't.
Latrobe School District says this opportunity to vaccinate staff and teachers comes as a relief. They're able to get some extra doses left over from a local pharmacy, but not everyone we talked to is happy about it. And just over the weekend, 200 of the district's staff were vaccinated thanks to extra supply from the medicine shop and the Pennsylvania Education Association.
That's a no-brainer. So we were very fortunate that the medicine shop had moved through their 1A individuals and were permitted to reach out to offer us the clinic.
Ligonier Valley also had its staff vaccinated by a local pharmacy. Even though school employees aren't supposed to be immunized until the state's Phase 1B portion, the state health department reportedly gave local pharmacies the okay to move on to the next phase if they had extra supply after completing Phase 1A.
It's very important. Obviously, it's just another layer of protection for our staff and students. And the sooner that everybody who chooses to be vaccinated is vaccinated, that anxiety level and the stress level will definitely decline.
But not everybody is happy about school districts getting the chance to jump in line.
I wrote to my representative, they got my shot. And that's the way I feel. You know, somewhere I got pushed down lower because someone was able to jump ahead of us.
Nazi Zola is 68 and is included in the first phase of the state's expanded vaccination rollout plan. But after relentless attempts to try to get the vaccine, he's still in the dark.
There's no comprehensive plan for us to get in a queue, for us to get in a line anywhere. I've already contacted 3 pharmacies. And it's a little bit frustrating when all you know is your name goes into a black hole. The Latrobe School District tells me they are waiting to hear back from the pharmacy to see if they have enough doses to vaccinate the rest of the staff who signed up this weekend. Reporting in Latrobe, I'm Melanie Gillespie for Channel 11 News.
This interactive map shows vaccine providers in the state. We got several emails from viewers asking where they can get the vaccine. Only the green dots you see here are the ones that may have some availability. And you can see those dots are few and far between, but the shots are going fast. We have this link to help you find a vaccine provider on our website, WPXI.com. Just look in the Race to Vaccinate section. The Pittsburgh Public School District is considering delaying in-person classes until April. And we listened in on a town hall last night. Failure and educational malpractice were just a few of the words used by parents to describe this school year as they urge leaders not to delay the return to in-person learning. But a majority of the teachers who spoke were in favor of waiting until April.
I completely understand that we have students who are struggling, but at this time, keeping everyone safe and healthy is at the highest priority. We can make up for learning loss, but we cannot bring back a staff member, student, or family member who could possibly pass away from getting COVID.
And we heard some students are responding better to virtual learning because they don't have as many distractions. The board is expected to vote tomorrow whether to bring students back next month or delay. There's a plan in play to turn this old school into luxury lofts. It's in a prime spot up in Mount Washington. And Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with neighbors who are happy something is finally being done with the old building, but they're not so sure it's the change that neighborhood needs.
Developers have their eyes set on Mount Washington. They're looking to transform this old school into a brand new living space. But folks living in this community say while they're excited, they have some concerns. It's being considered prime real estate atop Mount Washington. And now Mindful Grandview LLC has a bright vision for the former Bishop Leonard St. Mary of the Mount Academy building. They bought the space back in 2018 for more than $1 million. Once they get the green light from the city to move forward, they plan to turn the Bigham Street property into new loft-style apartments. The old school would take on the name the Grandview Lofts. The goal is to offer more than 30 loft apartments in the 4-story building, along with a rooftop deck that offers a picturesque view of the Steel City. Folks in the community say they're excited to see the vacant property be put to good use, but they're also expressing some concern.
I'm very leery about their plans, especially with the amount of apartments they want to put in there.
I think it's not a bad idea to bring, add something more to this community, dress it up a little more.
And the Planning Commission will review the proposal, so we're going to keep a close eye on that. In the meantime, we're talking with more folks in this neighborhood, what they hope happens next with the project, and their message to the developers. That's all starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting from Mount Washington, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
And another line up to the end of the block when I got here.
This small pharmacy has been dealing with huge numbers of people trying to get the COVID vaccine. The difficult balancing act for the pharmacy owner. And bridge tolls could be added across the state. A closer look at PennDOT's plan.
Plus, I'll let you know when this fog will be lifting, when winds will pick up, and how high those temperatures will get later today.
Plus, fracking in North Park, the fight to keep that from ever happening. North Park, known for many things, especially its wide variety of outdoor activities, could someday add something else, oil and gas drilling. Our Amy Hudak found out why town leaders may not have a choice.
There is no place in McCandless for heavy industry.
It's the question buzzing around town. Is North Park being tapped as a target for fracking? The answer is complicated.
This oil and gas development use is already permitted in the institutional district with the code that's on the books right now.
And yes, that includes North Park, and it has for a decade. Town Council is now working to strengthen its oil and gas ordinance to fight back and keep fracking out of McCandless.
The best approach that a community can take to this fact that the state requires that we have some portion of the community open for it, is to be proactive.
That includes amending the ordinance to include about 20 more pages of strict measures for noise, air, and water pollution. Under state law, the town of McCandless needs to provide a site where oil and gas development can take place. And North Park is one of the only options away from booming commercial and residential development.
That is the target that the industry is going to go after. Let's not kid ourselves. There's a 3,000-acre piece of real estate there.
And while no developer has reached out to the town about oil and gas, neighbors are doing their due diligence.
What can we do to protect the park?
If the drilling would take place in North Park, how much say would anybody have over the noise, if there was any pollution of any kind?
Some who have been fighting for decades say they're not backing down.
It's very important that these ordinances pass because those protections are much needed.
And I'm always driving through, making sure it's not there, because if it is, I will get my little signs out and start protesting.
Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
So why not just ban fracking in McCandless altogether? The president of the council says it's just not that simple, and putting up a legal fight against the oil and gas industry could end up in bankruptcy for the town. PennDOT is moving forward with a controversial plan to charge tolls on certain bridges. Tolls could be added to as many as 10 major bridges across the state. It would include only those located on interstate highways. Tolls will be between $1 and $2, and the list of potential candidates will be announced next month. Trucking groups and some lawmakers are against these tolls. If they get enough support, they could block the plans. Much of the U.S. was dealt a blast of winter weather, and one of the storms spawned a tornado overnight in Alabama. This drone video shot just north of Birmingham shows houses ripped apart, and you could see cars tossed like toys. NBC's Blaine Alexander is in Fultondale, Alabama, where search and rescue operations are underway.
Here in Fultondale, Alabama, the storm touched down just before 11 o'clock overnight when many people were still asleep. The fire chief says that they had only minutes of notice for people to get to safety. This is what's left of the Hampton Inn here in Fultondale. You can see really the entire front of the hotel was blown off. I spoke with a couple who rode out the storm inside their second floor room in the bathroom. They said they had only minutes notice. We know that there are fire crews in there right now. You can hear a little bit of that banging, trying to survey the damage. Now, here in Fultondale, the fire chief tells us that there is unfortunately at least one confirmed fatality. More than a dozen people were taken to the hospital, and a handful of people are still missing this morning as search and rescue teams continue to comb through this hotel and other residential areas searching for people underneath the rubble. In Fultondale, Alabama, I'm Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, that's just heartbreaking there in Alabama. What I can tell you is that we did have a little bit of ice that hung around this morning. This is a look at some of our ice reports. Ingomar seeing a trace, Brookline seeing a trace, Farmington 3/100ths, and Sarver a 1/10 of an inch of ice. The threat of ice is gone for our area. We don't have to worry about it anymore. However, we are dealing with areas of fog, and it is thick in spots. Scattered showers will linger in our forecast this afternoon, and the winds will be increasing. Visibility has come up to 5 miles in Pittsburgh, but we're at an 1/8 in Indiana and in Beaver. 1.5 miles right now in Butler. Again, have your headlights on if you're out traveling. You're going to need them because, well, you want everybody to be able to see you too if you're out traveling. Look at the temperatures right now. We've got a nice surge of milder air coming into the forecast. Morgantown right now is at 56 degrees. And look at Butler at 36. Meanwhile, we're in the middle. Pittsburgh at 41. Greensburg checking in right now at 45. This afternoon, I am expecting the temperatures to climb into the mid to upper 40s across our area. And so if you are heading out, maybe you're walking your dog, you might actually feel like a heat wave, comparatively speaking. You might just need a light jacket out there. It's feeling kind of muggy, damp as well, because our dew point numbers, moisture in the air, are increasing, getting very close to the air temperature. And that's why we're seeing the fog as of right now. Speaking of fog, as the winds pick up throughout the day today, I think that that's going to mix out a little bit of the fog that we're seeing, and the visibility should gradually improve. Here's the wind forecast today. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're looking at winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Those are going to be sustained that way through the rest of the afternoon and evening. However, I think gusts could be up as high as 20, maybe 25 miles per hour in some spots. We do keep scattered showers in the forecast this afternoon and this evening, and then as colder air works its way in by dinner time, there could be some snow showers mixing in with some of those rain showers as well. So you're going to want to keep your umbrella nearby. 29 overnight tonight, winds still right around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then I'll talk more about the hour-by-hour temperature forecast for tomorrow and as you plan your day coming up, because it will be trending a lot colder. That's coming up in the next half hour. In the meantime, our storm tracker maps, and the showers are pretty spotty. What we're dealing with, at least in the short term, is going to be the areas of drizzle and mist and thick fog. Once that mixes out, we'll be dry for just a little bit, but then more showers are going to be building in by late afternoon and evening. So if you're commuting during this time, you'll be dealing with some wet weather. Your windshield wipers will be going just a little bit. And you can see the purple shaded colors on the map. So that indicates where we'll see a little bit of that snow mixing in later on this evening and tonight. Here's 10 p.m. And then what's going to happen is that's gradually going to push down to the south during the overnight hours. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. 33 Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday are colder, trending at only mid-20s with a few flurries in the picture. Teens as we head into Friday and Saturday mornings. And if you do have any plans outside this weekend, we do look to bring in some rain and snow showers Sunday, so perhaps the better day to get out is Saturday, although it will be the colder of the two with a temperature only near 30.
Thanks, Danielle. COVID has created more stress, more anxiety, and more chronic depression. The new treatment offering hope that was accidentally discovered. But first, many people expected a baby boom when we first went into quarantine mode. The reason health experts say they're actually seeing fewer births. It's a trend that sometimes happens after blizzards, long power outages, or whenever couples have a lot of time to kill and not much to do. Many people joked COVID stay-at-home orders would lead to a new nationwide baby boom. But some researchers predict we might actually see the exact opposite. NBC's Chris Pallone explains.
Always kind of imagine.
Shelby Parker of Ohio is the mother of a 2-year-old girl, and she and her husband Ben had hoped to deliver little Abby a sister or brother fairly soon.
We always kind of imagined having 2 kids, having them just a couple of years apart.
But when the pandemic hit, it changed everything.
It just felt irresponsible to bring a kid into this world.
Couples having lots of time stuck at home led many to joke we'd see a surge in births 9 months later. But it looks like that baby boom is actually a baby bust. Eliana Doctorman recently wrote about it for Time magazine.
So I think that it just comes down to people are not able to afford both in terms of money, but also emotionally.
The Brookings Institution estimates this year could see a dip from 2019, approaching 300,000 fewer births. And Doctorman says lower income women, especially minorities, are disproportionately affected.
There simply is just not enough childcare available. Schools are closed. And so somebody has to take care of the kids.
With jobs and health care uncertain, it appears many couples are actively trying not to conceive.
I think many women just got very, very exhausted and thought to themselves, can I take on the demands of a pregnancy or the demands of newborn care?
Shelby Parker has led to a feeling of mourning.
Like, I am so incredibly grateful for the beautiful, healthy daughter that I have. But, you know, you have this picture of a family in your head, and I always pictured my family with 2 kids.
But with vaccines being distributed and more on the horizon, things can change in a hurry. Another potential baby boom is always 9 months away. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
And in the line to the end of the block when I got here.
A Pittsburgh pharmacy is dealing with the huge demand for the COVID vaccine. Why the owner says getting people the vaccine is a balancing act.
Temperatures are warming. The fog will lift throughout the day. However, we have a big chill on the way. I'll have your hour-by-hour forecast as we head into tomorrow coming up.
We saw some tricky driving conditions this morning with a wintry mix in parts of the area. And now some places are seeing thick fog. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier shows us what to expect later today in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, that fog has been thick, even in Pittsburgh, but we're finally starting to see that visibility improve here in the city. Places like Beaver, though, still dealing with some limited visibility, and our visible satellite shows the thick cloud cover that is still existent across the area. I will say here, down to the south, we're starting to get a few breaks in the clouds. That's nice to see. You can see that kind of stretching from Greene County into Fayette County and Westmoreland County there. Temperature-wise, we're going up into the mid-40s today, and the winds will gradually increase to about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And I think we could have gusts as high as 20 and maybe even 25 miles per hour. As promised, a look at our forecast for tomorrow hour by hour, because I do expect much colder air to come into the picture. We're looking at temperatures in the morning in the upper 20s and lower 30s in the afternoon. So enjoy the warm-up we have today, because it will be changing. Coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to let you know what my thoughts are as far as that lake week snow that we were talking about over the weekend and yesterday. I'll let you know how the date is trending on that one coming up.
And they were lined to the end of the block when I got here.
People flocked to a local pharmacy this past weekend trying to get their COVID shots. Wilson's Pharmacy in Bloomfield says that they've had a constant supply of the vaccine since the start of the year, but now the demand has skyrocketed. People drove in from Erie and Philadelphia, but yesterday the pharmacy had to start turning people away.
All of a sudden it got hard to get, so we waited a week and a half to get our next batch, which we went through over the weekend.
The pharmacy says another vaccine shipment is on the way, and they'll be ready to keep vaccinating. More people of color are getting COVID-19, more are being admitted to the hospital, and more are dying. And now a special task force is working to fix that. President Joe Biden's Health Equity Task Force is focused on how the pandemic has disproportionately impacted Black and Latinx people. Communities of color tend to have fewer pharmacies, putting them at a disadvantage in the nationwide effort to get the vaccine to Americans. The group will work toward combating misinformation and mistrust that's hurting public health efforts.
These inequities that we're seeing, they aren't new. And in order for a country to heal, it's going to require action. It's going to require accountability. And it's going to require really rooting out structural racism in healthcare.
Even after the pandemic, the group will address racial disparities and economic inequities in healthcare that put vulnerable communities at risk. For the 6th straight week, Pennsylvania's positivity rate for COVID testing has dropped, but in every county in western PA, it's still showing substantial spread of the virus. Last week, the state's positivity rate fell to 10.5%. That's down nearly 2 points from the week before and down 5 since December. The rate is dropping, and that is good, but health officials say it should be at around 5% total. Contact tracing remains a challenge in Pennsylvania, and looking at data from 2 weeks ago, just 18% of people answered COVID-related questions. That means close to 38,000 people either did not answer the phone or did not give complete answers. The state hired more than 1,000 contact tracers. Their goal is to notify people who may have been exposed to the virus. A local college professor fired for using a racial slur during class may get his job back. A faculty-elected oversight board at Duquesne University called Gary Shank's action misguided but not malicious. Shank used the word last fall during a virtual lecture on race and language. The oversight group recommended Shank be rehired. Duquesne's president has 15 days to make a decision. One of the rioters who has become the face of the attack on the U.S. Capitol has been transferred to a jail in Washington, D.C. Jake Angeli was photographed wearing a horned bearskin headdress and face paint along with distinctive tattoos. Video from the New Yorker shows him and scores of others storming the Capitol on January 6th. He claims he and others came to the Capitol at the request of former President Donald Trump. In about 2 hours, senators will be sworn in as jurors for Trump's second impeachment trial. The trial won't start for another 2 weeks, which gives Trump's legal team more time to prepare. Our Jacqueline Fell breaks down the next steps.
While senators will be sworn in this afternoon, the impeachment trial won't begin until the week of February 8th. Instead, senators will first consider confirming President Joe Biden's cabinet nominees and negotiating a COVID-19 stimulus package. The swearing in comes hours after House Democrats walked the single article of impeachment through the U.S. Capitol to the Senate. The U.S. House impeached former President Donald Trump for a second time, a week after his supporters stormed the Capitol in riots that left 5 people dead.
former president of the United States, incited a violent attack on the Capitol, a bloody attack that involved efforts to hang the vice president, murder the Speaker of the House, hunt down members of the Congress.
It's unlikely 17 Republican senators will join all Democrats in convicting the former president, barring him from holding office in the future.
That it's unconstitutional. It sets a bad precedent for the presidency, and it continues to divide the nation. And on the facts that his speech is not incitement under the law.
President Biden says the impeachment trial has to happen, even if Donald Trump isn't convicted. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
The CEO of MyPillow has been banned from Twitter. Mike Lindell was banned for repeatedly violating the civic integrity policy when he shared election misinformation. Twitter enacted the new policy after the Capitol riots. It's not clear which tweets led to Lindell's ban. It started like an ordinary phone call to book a trip to Disney. Then it took a turn. How a Disney worker helped save a Pennsylvania woman from a violent confrontation. And a warning from Apple about its new iPhone, how it could put some people in danger. Apple says its new iPhone 12 could interfere with some medical devices, including pacemakers. It has to do with magnets in the phone. Apple recommends keeping the phones a safe distance from medical devices, which is considered more than 6 inches apart. They say this actually should apply to all iPhones because they all have magnets, but the iPhone 12 has the most. A quick-thinking Disney worker helped to save a Pennsylvania woman thousands of miles away. Police say the York County woman called Disney pretending to book a trip, but then the Disney worker heard yelling. She started asking yes or no questions, and she asked if someone was hurting her and if she should call the police, and the answer to both was yes. Northern York County police went to the home and arrested the woman's boyfriend. She told police she feared for her life. Some scary video out of Utah here. 2 cars slam into each other and then slide down a snowy canyon. Take a look at this. The terrifying accident happened Sunday in Big Cottonwood Canyon near Salt Lake City right there. This video shows the car and a pickup slamming into each other and then quickly sliding down a canyon into a creek. One person was seriously hurt. 3 others had just bumps and bruises. Obviously, this could have been much worse. That road is usually very busy during winter weekends with people traveling to and from the ski resorts. COVID has created more stress, more anxiety, and more depression. The new and accidental discovery offering hope.
Most of the heavier precipitation has moved out of the area. The freezing rain threat is gone, but we're dealing with fog. We do have more rain in the picture. I'll have that for you in the best times to get outside coming up.
Well, throughout the pandemic, we've heard about the mental health struggles people are facing. The Journal of the American Medical Association says the number of people reporting depression symptoms is 3 times higher. And of the people who responded to a CDC study, 41% were struggling with mental health issues or substance abuse. Channel 11 Morning News anchor Catherine Ameta found out there is hope with new types of treatment that's unlike any other.
I had been diagnosed with treatment-resistant depression and anxiety since about the age of 18.
For more than 20 years, Megan Sherrill struggled with mental health challenges. But in 2019, she suffered a physical health emergency and had open heart surgery. In the aftermath, the lows were more intense than ever.
Was there a point when you thought about taking your life?
Absolutely.
Traditional oral antidepressants never really worked for her, so she decided to try something new, ketamine therapy. It's given through an IV infusion.
The wonderful thing about ketamine is it's immediate. You get that relief. You alleviate those thoughts immediately, and there's no side effects.
Ready, honey? Physicians like Dr. Lakeisha Legree are seeing more people than ever seeking help.
Threefold increase in diagnosis of depression since COVID, and depression actually is viewed as an epidemic now. So COVID's the pandemic, depression's an epidemic, and it's only going to get worse.
Dr. Legree says benefits of ketamine were discovered almost accidentally when patients reported positive mental side effects after surgery.
So ketamine originally is an anesthetic. As an anesthesiologist, I use it every day in the operating operating rooms. And about 10 years ago, it was found in low doses to actually decrease depression symptoms by up to 80%.
Ketamine therapy is used for treatment-resistant depression, PTSD, and thoughts of suicide. Dr. Legree says treatment usually starts with 6 infusions in 30 to 40-minute intervals over a 2-week period. And sometimes patients get a breakthrough during their session.
And we take you through this journey transparently in conjunction with working with your mental health correspondent, psychiatrist, or psychologist. Or if you don't have one, that's okay. We have them here for you on staff.
They feel hopeless, and I've been there plenty of times.
4 to 6 weeks, make your appointment.
Megan Sherrill says that she has lived through being in a dark place. And with the work she's done now, with the help of the ketamine alternative, she doesn't think she'll ever go back there.
It elevates your mood. It changes your perspective and your thinking, and it gives you space to figure those things out to where you can actually go through depression and come out the other side better.
Catherine Amenta, Channel 11 News.
Now, this therapy is not cheap, about $400 per infusion. Dr. Legree says that groups of physicians are now lobbying insurance companies to try to get them to cover it.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
A live look over the city, and our visibility has improved greatly. We've got a wind that's picking up. That's helping to mix out some of the fog. 41 degrees, and the wind chill, though, is still 35. So it is chilly enough for a coat out there today. Visibility is 5 miles in Pittsburgh. Updating you in Butler and in Indiana, where it's 1.5 miles. In Beaver, we've come up to now 1.7. So this fog will, again, gradually lift as those winds increase throughout the afternoon today. As far as getting outside over the next few days, we are going to be having a few showers in the forecast, especially by late afternoon and evening. Dry conditions for the most part on Wednesday. I say the most part because some data has been showing a few flurries. We'll have to keep you updated. But Thursday and Friday, we're also looking at a few flurries in the picture as colder air arrives to our forecast. Here's a look at the temperature map, and we've got 45 in Washington. It's 56 in Morgantown. That green shaded color coming up to the north. 37 in Butler, 37 in Indiana, though still, so chillier up to the north. Wind speeds 21 in Washington. Those sustained winds are getting up there. I think the wind chills are going to be coming up as well as the air temperatures climb, but still it's going to feel like the 30s in many locations this afternoon if you're heading out. Storm tracker 6 p.m. shows those scattered showers building back in along the I-80 corridor north. We're looking at it mixing with snow. By dinner time, we're going to have some snow mixing in with rain up to the north as well. This is because colder air will be settling in, and that's going to start to allow for that changeover, if not a little bit of mix going on here in the city as well. This is 9:30 p.m. A little bit of rain and snow showing up. Doesn't look like anything too impactful for us, but we'll keep you posted if anything changes, and then it's gradually clearing out overnight into your Wednesday morning commute. Morning planner tomorrow has the temperatures hour by hour for you, going up to 20, going up to 30, that is, and then going down to 29 as we head into 7 and 8 o'clock. Tomorrow afternoon, about 33, so colder air will move in. Winds will come down as well, northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. In Washington tomorrow, it's only freezing. Beaver's 31 and 33 in Uniontown, and then we'll have some really cold air coming into the picture as we head into the Wednesday, Thursday time frame. And this is going to allow those temperatures for highs to actually dip into the mid-20s, and the lows are going to be coming down into the teens. So by Friday morning, we're at just 18 degrees. Now, I did mention earlier I would let you know about the Thursday, Friday time frame and that weather system we were tracking, over the weekend, even yesterday. What's been happening is there's a low pressure system that's going to be tracking to our south. And at one point, the model data had said, hey, yeah, Wednesday night into Thursday, we're going to get some accumulating snowfall around here from that. But it keeps trending more to the south. So for us right now, it looks like just some flurries around for Thursday. We'll keep you posted on if that changes as well, but definitely some ups and downs in this forecast. Your weekend is always in view. This weekend, Saturday will be the coldest at 30. Sunday, upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Your lows are in the mid-20s, and it'll be a little bit more wet out there on Sunday with some rain and snow.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Now here's local steals and deals.
Hey, so I am in the kitchen, which I have to say, don't be shocked. Up until a few months ago, I wasn't even sure what this room was, but this is a kitchen, and this is where good food happens. And I have had the chance to really experiment and find out that, you know what, even if I don't know what I'm doing, I can end up with some great food. And if I have the right tools, it's super easy. So I've been hearing everybody, by the way, talk about air frying, and I thought, okay, air frying, that sounds complicated, and I can't do that, and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody sent me this caloric, and I thought, okay, number one, this looks really cool, right? I like it. It doesn't take up all my counter space. Love that. I started experimenting with it, and here's the cool thing. So number one, I love fried food. Who loves fried food? Raise your hand. I love fried food, but I know it's not very healthy for me, right? Because it just absorbs oil. Now I can air fry tater tots, French fries, chicken wings, all the things I love. I can air fry it if it's frozen. I can air fry it if it's fresh. It's going to have a nice big basket, so there's lots of room. I can do a lot at one time, but I don't just have to air fry it. This is like an extra oven in my kitchen. I can do a steak in here. I can do vegetables in here. I can do a cake in here. Oh, I can reheat food in here, which, is a really big deal for me because I'm cooking for one. I can reheat food in here and I don't have to wait on a big oven, and it tastes a lot better than a microwave. I love the fact that whatever comes out of this, i.e. this basket, goes in my dishwasher because I'm not big on cleaning. So this is one of those things that makes air frying really, really easy. And it's not going to take up all the room in your kitchen. And I love the fact that it's not going to break the bank. Now, the caloric is already a great value. On localsteals.com right now, you can get this for 30% off. I guarantee it's going to change the way you cook. I guarantee if I can do it, you can do it. Your food's going to be healthier. You're going to cook things you never thought of. It's an extra oven, and it's going to be the most used appliance in your kitchen.
Well, the teams are set for the Super Bowl, but some big names will be missing during the game. Budweiser, Pepsi, and Coke won't be advertising their drinks during the Super Bowl this year. Pepsi is replacing its traditional ad slot with a new campaign to lead into its halftime show. Coke has decided to toast two other brands from the sidelines this year. And Budweiser is using some of the money it would have spent on a slot to support COVID-19 vaccine awareness with donations and future ad campaigns. 16 days after the playoff loss to the Browns, the Steelers are making a pair of coaching moves. As expected, Matt Canada has been promoted to offensive coordinator. Last season, Canada was with the Steelers as quarterbacks coach. No word on how this might affect the situation with Ben Roethlisberger, but the promotion of a familiar coach as opposed to bringing in somebody from the outside would appear to be a plus for Roethlisberger returning. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.